Boo! Hi. I'm here again. Why? I mean, I really... Okay, so I have come to the realization that the entire last stream was just me fucking around. But I really want to do something with this world. So... So I'm gonna build shit. I just don't know what I'm gonna build yet. Nor do I know... Okay, I think I have a where. Like, I want this little nook, I think. That's about all I have. I mean, I have my materials in a chest here, which isn't really much. I have some wood. I should probably smelt this, shouldn't I? I have some materials. I don't know. Once again, I just felt like streaming, and here I am. I'm not very organized. If you couldn't tell. That's fine. I don't know how to pronounce that. But thank you. I'm gonna butcher it if I try and pronounce it, so I'm just going to say thank you. Because I don't know. Sorry. Trees. Yes, I want trees. Oh my god, the axe breaks leaves so quickly. I don't have Carly reading Wattpad stories this time. Not sure if that's a relief. It's a relief that it's not a Wattpad story. Although, I do like spending time with Carly. So, we'll go with relief for now, because a majority of that was Wattpad stories. Anyway, trees. Jeez, why does the axe go so fast? Do you see this? Ooh. Ooh. Cypress. I'm gonna replant trees over here, because this is the nook I want. I should fill this in too, because I don't think anyone really wants a hole filled with water next to— okay. I don't think anyone wants a hole filled— a hole next to their house. Okay? That— no matter what I said, it would sound wrong in that situation, okay? So, that's what you get. I don't really have a goal again. It's once again me just— do I have to shift when I break the wood? Oh. Oh. I understand now. Okay. Oh wait, did it replant the sapling? Oh! It did! I think it did it with like whatever sapling I had in my inventory, actually. But that's nice! Oh, I like that. That was so cute. Okay, wait. This. Oh, wait. I will probably give up at some point and go back to doing something stupid like TNT Tag or Bed Wars again. But, as of right now, it's some peaceful, stay true shit. But hello. How about we go bowling, but instead of using bowling balls, we use a mango. Oh yeah, bowling mango. Hi. Honestly, I wonder what, like, the employees would say about that. Like, you don't say anything, you sign up, you get the bowling shoes, and you walk in, completely ignore all of the bowling balls that are up on the racks, and just toss a mango down the thing. I don't think they have a rule for not throwing fruits down the bowling aisle, so they can't necessarily tell you that you're in the wrong. Like, what would they do in that situation? Because I have no clue what I would do. I would probably just give up. I would just be like, alright, guess that's happening now. Sorry, I very clearly did not take my meds this morning. I'm all over the place. I'm once again just... I feel like... Listen, there's a lot of things that are implied in life that I completely ignore. So you'd have to be, like, really specific to get me to not do something. I like to use this analogy with my friends. It's, there's not necessarily a rule or a saying that you can't go to McDonald's in a blow-up cow costume wearing a bikini and sell samples. But you wouldn't do it. You know? But I would. I don't know what embarrassment is. I don't get embarrassed. Ma'am, I don't think you understand. We don't ban fruits because they're overpowered. We ban them because we clean them up. Yes! Throw the mango at them. That's a power move. That is beautiful. Wait. I just got so focused on dirt for a second there. Sorry. Oh. That grass grew uncomfortably fast. Throw the person like a mango. Like, just pick them up and throw the person? I mean, that's also a power move. I won't deny that. That is also a way to go through. That scared me. I still don't know how to fix this fog thing. And it's quite annoying. Because I can't really see much. Like, if I want to go over here and get, like, a full scenic look of whatever I'm gonna build, I'm not gonna see much. Whatever. I'll deal with that later. That is a future me issue. How do I have to fill this hole? It'll probably fill up with mobs, won't it? I can't, I can just place torches sporadically though. That automatically means no mob spawning. Problem solved. But I need charcoal and coal for that, so... Furnace. Wait. Furnace. There is no chaotic Wattpad reading this time. I apologize. Wait, do I apologize for that? No, I don't apologize for the lack of Wattpad. No, I don't. I had to think about it for a second. No, I don't. Not really. Nice. I literally just figured out that you have to shift to chop down the entire tree. And it is so much more useful. Oh my goodness. I'm pretty sure it also takes a random sapling from your inventory and plants it, but I'm trying to clear out this space, not, get wood, so. If you throw a mango... Well, once again, what would they do in that situation? Like, if you gathered 10 people to start this up, I feel like that would just be a social experiment at that point. From my experience with customer service, I highly doubt they would do anything. They'd probably just be like, alright, you do that. But it would be very funny if they freaked out. I don't know what to build. I don't know what type of stuff I want my house to be. I guess I could build a path here. Oh! Man, I love terrain. Okay, so... if you used body parts, you wouldn't be able to see what's inside the snow globe, though. You wouldn't get the same effect out of it. The whole point of it is to shake it and watch the snowflakes fall. How would you do that? Now I'm intrigued. How would you go about that? Good enough. I mean, it's body parts. I would say maybe hair, because it's pretty see-through, but hair is not scientifically considered a body part, is it? How would you go about that? I don't think I have the best wood choice right now. Okay, let's put down all possible wood I have. Oh, so basically use a centrifuge to separate meat juice from bone and use the clear liquid as the water. Freeze some of it and you got yourself a clear glass. Oh shit! Huh. You wouldn't really need that many body parts for it then, would you? Separate meat juice from bone and use the clear... But wouldn't it melt? Would it have to just constantly be in a freezer? Since it's ice? I like these blocks. You could. That is true. If you do it in that way. I don't see why not. I don't do melting. Just doesn't happen to you. I could have sworn I had more dirt. Oh. Not much. There's more. Ugh. I don't know what to... Okay. What? Ooh, that is a lot of... How do I get these verticals? How do I get this vertical shit? Huh. What's it like being normal? I couldn't fucking tell you, dude. I am not the person to ask. I just talked about how I literally cannot get embarrassed. I will pretend to be embarrassed if I find it to be a funny situation, but I've not gotten embarrassed. Yet, I could. There could be something I may find embarrassing. So far, I have not. What do I build with? I'm gonna have... I don't know what I'm gonna have, but I don't... I feel like I could do 2 different houses with this. I could do like a hut and then a house. Want to do some back time. You'll get embarrassed when you accidentally turn someone into a snow globe. Would I? Would I get embarrassed over that? Hobbit hole? We could do a hobbit hole for now. Do I turn this into like a hill? I'm gonna turn this into like a hill, maybe? Terraform the fuck out of it. Oh, I just made myself lag really badly. No, don't replant. Stop replanting. We don't save trees here. Wait. Oh! Oh, fun thing happened to me yesterday. On Twitter, there was like a SMP application thing, and I was like, this would be funny if I replied with like literally one reason and then actually got in. And what my one reason was is, you should add me because I'm an ex-theater kid. And I had one of the people on the SMP like the tweet. And I will use that as... I don't know what I'll use it as, but I find it funny. I was literally the holy trinity of weird kids in middle school. I was a choir kid, I was a band kid, and I was a theater kid. I was awful. Would I even call it the Holy Trinity? Why did I call it the Holy Trinity? Ignore the fact that I called it that. Oh, wait, I'm getting a bunch of seeds. Celery, tomato, radish, grape. Oh god, I didn't mean to do that. Cantaloupe. Grape sounds fun. You're an ex-theater kid too. Current band kid. What instrument? Yeah, that works. I'm in 8th grade band, and as someone who's only in band but who happens to be friends with people from all three are amazing. Oh, they're always the best kids. It's just... Sorry, my dog just stared at me like she was on drugs. No doubt about it, they're always the best friend group to have. It's just... I like making jokes about it because I like the memes. Ooh! Hello. What do you do? Except for the yeah. There's like the occasional oddball that's like... Engineering nerd? What type of stuff do you... Okay, wait. What type of engineering? Mechanical, carpentry type shit, like... Because one, I know a lot about. The other one, I'm completely fucking clueless. Sorry. What was I doing? House, hobbit hole. Terraform. I'm big on robotics. Ooh. That's the one I know nothing about. It's always interested me because my brother is a computer dude, but I know literally nothing. How I built my PC is a mystery. I mean, I know basic stuff. Just... I don't know that, like... I don't know how to word it. Advanced? I wouldn't say advanced. I'm not that good. As soon as you get to coding and specific... I don't know. I don't know. I know a handful. Spent thousands of dollars on a robot, watched it get shredded into 27 pieces because you forgot to plug something in. Have fun, rinse, repeat. I did a robotics club for summer, and we did like a small robotics tournament, and I never got to control the robot, but I did help in creating the robot a lot. And it did in fact get destroyed very quickly. Oh. Actually, don't go near my stuff. I don't want that. Can you... Enderman, move. Enderman, move! Sheesh. Oh, wait. Hey, Enderman? You're very lovely to be around, but not when you're in my way. Please. In our FTC team, we had 3 out of 4 machines ruined by our robot ship. Ooh. You Well, at least that's why I'm terraforming. That fucking sucks. I mean, on one hand, it's cool to- no, I was gonna be like, it might be fun to figure out what went wrong and then being able to fix it, but at the same time, all the work you put into it just got kaplooey. I'm never saying that word again. Okay, we have more dirt. Do I turn this into a cliff type thing? I'm gonna go with cliff. 1,000 hours into the- well, you still put in a lot of effort. And you're... like, if I'm proud of doing something, I'm gonna be fucking upset if it got ruined. Is this a good outline? I was mentioning more how to collect the CM hours. Oh. I don't know. That's just a me thing, most likely. Ooh. Probably just... I feel like I should try... oh wait, how do I waypoint? There we go. Waypoint. Oh wait. Can I like... a 2. Thank you. Audie? I'm gonna go with Audie. Hi! Thank you! I'm able to I think I pronounced that right. I'm gonna... you know what? I'm gonna go... okay, wait. Now how do I edit the way... oh. Okay. 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 There we go. Jesus. I did... okay, nice. It's... I am not good with names, so I'm glad. Bye-bye, Mayo! Thank you for telling me about your robotics and building snow globes out of humans. Wonderful conversation. I'm literally just gonna be terraforming the majority of this, aren't I? I have a feeling I'm just gonna be spending the entire time terraforming. Well, I don't want to ruin nearby stuff. Ooh! Okay. Can I teleport to the waypoint? I can! Okay. Nice. That's what I wanted. Now I just randomly run so that I can collect an uncomfortable amount of dirt. This will be fun. Is that a mesa? Mesa's not that interesting. Just gonna... No, no, no. No, no, no. I'm not near you. I'm not near you. I'm not near you. Don't follow me. I'm not near you. Haha. Ha ha ha. Okay. Why are these things glowing? That's what I want to find out. Why are some of the mobs glowing? Okay. Roadrunner. Do I want terracotta? Okay, so before we learned kangaroos will kick my ass. What are you? Lizard. Hello. Oh. Okay, rude. Do I want terracotta? I'm getting terracotta. I realized a lot. I probably before I start building a bunch of shit. No, it's too early game. I don't even have proper armor still. This is all random armor I found in chests. I was thinking about killing a wither, but I do not. I mean, it is fairly easy if you do it underground. But, eh. Lonely. I also changed the music that plays in my VODs. Because I have a audio route so that I have, regular music from Spotify playing on stream, but it gets cut out of the VODs, and I have other music that plays. But I realized that it's very awkward, because I was jamming out to Scooby-Doo last stream, and it was just awkward silence during the entire thing. Oh, not what I meant to do. Because it's just random lo-fi music, as I'm just like blasting Scooby-Doo going like this as I walk around. It is very awkward, but it's better than nothing. So I did change the type of music. So hopefully it'll be less awkward? I don't know. I'll figure it out whenever I feel like ending today. Last stream was 4 hours. I don't think I have it in me to do 4 hours again. But I will damn near try, because why the fuck not? Ooh. I feel like this is... No, I'll get another stack. They really like to jump. They're not even jumping and they're not even going anywhere, they're just jumping in place. Yup, you guys, you do you guys. I'm not judging. You guys do as you please. I'm not one to judge. Ooh. I am not very good at commentary when I'm mining. I've come to learn. Okay. Enough of terracotta. I need dirt. I'll get rid of that. I need dirt. I'm also gonna make a waypoint here. Create waypoint. That's definitely how you spell it. Now, what are these things that I just saw? Are there still kangaroos? They're just... Are they taller or am I crazy? I did not have it. Oh, there's a snake! Are you hurtful? Like, are you gonna... Bro, that whale always pops out of fucking nowhere. Rattlesnake. Hi. Oh, don't hurt me, please. I just wanted to admire your prettiness. I didn't bring a bed! Fuck! We're going back. Oh wait, I have a waypoint. Fuck. I can't... Oh. Do I need cheats on to do it? Fuck. Alright, whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Oh, that's just never been. It's okay. It's not that far away. I am lagging a bit though, and that is worrying. God forbid a creeper finds me the second I blue screen. Oh shit, we really didn't go that far. Okay, it's fine. Ooh. I feel like I should get a different bed. Nah, I'll just break the one I have. I'll drop off this terracotta so I can have more room for dirt too. No, sleep. Ooh. And now we are off to get some dirt. I want to note that this is my spawn, and this is where I'm building. Why did I walk around so much? That looks like a pretty forest. No, I don't want to decimate a village. Maybe I could go here. And I can get some stone for the cliff while I'm at it. Yeah, that should be fine. I'll go do that. Oh, ooh, why was there two? I just wanted, okay, flowers aren't worth it. It's a deer. Oh my god, it's a baby deer. Okay, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Do I want gravel? I don't. Gravel sounds weird. Oh, it would be nice for paths though. Just a little bit. I'm getting way too much flint. The one time I don't want flint and I want actual gravel, it's giving me fucking flint. Freddy Flintstone. Is it Flint or Flintstone? Like F-L-I-N. Freddy Flintstone? Flintstone? I could have sworn it was Flintstone, but Flintstone sounds weird. Okay, that's enough. Lovely. Grave just at the top of the hill. Don't mind if I do. Oh, it's just bones. Okay. Oh, the mesa. The mesa stretches all the way over here. Should I get this bit of dirt here? Like, strip this dry? It's already ugly. I don't see why not. Is it rude to call it ugly? Sorry, Mountain. It's probably very rude to call you ugly. I apologize. You're not that bad looking. Why am I apologizing to a Minecraft mountain? I don't know. But here I am, apologizing to a Minecraft mountain because I called it ugly. Maybe it's technically a part of you. It is very far away. But you never know.